Hi there, this is Datila, and welcome to its Wrestling Time Post Show. It is Monday, September 18, 2023, and tonight I'll be talking about Monday Night Raw. You know, I actually have to say, I somewhat enjoyed tonight's Raw. I didn't think it was too bad. I really appreciate the storyline that they're doing with Jey Uso. You know, he came to Raw, and now he's got to win everyone's trust, and I really do appreciate that. I mean, like, there was even a whole segment with Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Cody Rhodes talking about Jey Uso. You know, like, basically, like, Kevin Owens said that he doesn't trust Jey Uso, but since Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes trust Jey Uso, he trusts them. So I really, really like that, because this whole storyline was pretty much all over Raw. You had Damian Priest asked Jey Uso that he needed an answer by tonight. And so in the main event, we had Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre. And in the middle of this match, Judgment Day came out. And they were there, I guess you could say, to help Jey Uso. Now, I do realize that commentary said that Raw management wanted to bring Jey Uso in. Isn't Raw management the same as SmackDown management? So, not sure what they meant by that. But this main event, I thought it was a really good main event. I actually really liked it. Now, like I said, Judgment Day was at ringside. And you could see Damian Priest. He's talking to Jey Uso. He's whispering stuff to Jey. And he actually fist bumps him. So it kind of makes you think, oh, he's going to join Judgment Day. But he ends up super kicking Dominik, Damian Priest, and Finn Balor. And this cost Jey Uso his match against Drew McIntyre. And at the end, you had the Judgment Day beat down on poor Jey Uso. And, you know, Drew McIntyre is walking away. He's watching Jey Uso get beat up. He looks back. And then he turns around and walks again. And Cody Rhodes comes out. And, you know, Cody Rhodes is the one who helps Jey Uso. Well, Drew McIntyre just pretty much walks away. So are we possibly getting a heel turn from Drew McIntyre here? Maybe. You know, I honestly think a heel turn is what Drew McIntyre needs. He's been a babyface for so long. It'll do him some good to change his character a bit. But what did you guys think of the main event? What did you guys think of Jey Uso super kicking Judgment Day? And what do you guys think of a potential Drew McIntyre heel turn? So Monday Night Raw kicked off with a Cody Rhodes promo where he tried to talk about Jey Uso, but unfortunately he wasn't able to talk about Jey Uso because Dominik came out and interrupted him. And he was basically saying how once Jey Uso joined them, that they would be the most dominant faction in WWE, which we know does not happen. He basically makes note that Rhea Ripley isn't here because she got injured by Nia Jax. Now, I haven't read anything whether this is legit or if this is a kayfabe injury. I hope it's a kayfabe injury because I think it would look really bad on Nia Jax's part if she already injured Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez. So this leads into Cody Rhodes versus Dominik Mysterio. I don't know why we're getting this match. Wasn't a huge fan of this match. I honestly kind of think their match at Money in the Bank was much better than this. This was kind of a short match and a quick win for Cody Rhodes, despite the fact that Damian Priest and Finn Balor were at ringside. You know, then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn came out to help Cody Rhodes even the odds, and Judgment Day kind of just backed away. And that led into the segment where they're talking about Jey Uso. We get a really good match between Kofi, Kingston, and Ivar. Where did this come from? This was a surprising, good match. One thing I do appreciate is that we got an explanation for the match changing. So this was originally supposed to be a 2 out of 3 falls match. the Viking Raiders versus the New Day. However, they showed a segment backstage where Adam Pearce says that Eric was not medically cleared to compete tonight. So this is going to be Kofi Kingston versus Ivar, which turned out to be a really good match. I honestly thought Ivar was going to win this. I mean, he was basically dominating Kofi Kingston, but Kofi Kingston refused to give up. He kept kicking out. I thought after he did that top rope moonsault to Kofi, I thought it was over right there. Nope. I mean, it took a sunset flip powerbomb from the ropes and Trouble in Paradise for Kofi Kingston to defeat Ivar. And this is a really good match. We need to see more of this. I really hope this is the start of the Viking Raiders going back to how they were before, this lost momentum. We get a Ricochet interview. And he's basically talking about how he's getting bothered with Nakamura again because he attacked him with that chair. And tonight is game over if Nakamura wants to keep playing games. So this leads into Ricochet versus Shinsuke Nakamura. And it seemed like Nakamura was just, he really didn't care about the match because those match was, mostly Ricochet doing the shooting star, the crossbody, the springboard. And he got to the point where he got Ricochet to get DQ'd. I mean, it looked like he was going to use a chair on Ricochet, but instead Ricochet used it on Nakamura. I was a little confused by that, but hey, it worked in Nakamura's favor. Afterwards, you had Shinsuke Nakamura do the King Shasta to Ricochet, and then he was hitting Ricochet's ankle with the ring post. Oh, on the ring post with this chair. And then Seth Rollins came to help Ricochet, and Nakamura attacked him, sending him spine first into the announce table and then onto the announce table. So the war between them is definitely not over. And even later on in the night, we had Seth Rollins, do an interview where he's basically saying that the boss at Nakamura's court, he wants him to name the time, the place, and possibly stipulation. And he asks, will Nakamura define his own legacy or will Rollins define it for him? So I'm kind of liking where this is going with Shinsuke Nakamura and Seth Rollins. I think Nakamura needed this change in direction. But, does it really matter, especially if he doesn't defeat Seth Rollins ultimately? So, we'll see where that goes. Jey Uso's character was good. Main event was good. Yeah, it was. That definitely was a good main event. We had Chelsea Green and Piper Niven's backstage interview. And she basically starts talking about how Shayna Baszler and Zoey Starks, who are their opponents, were not a real team. And that they were going to show them what a real team looks like. So this leads into Zoey Starks and Shayna Baszler versus Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. I want to know why they're putting Shayna Baszler in another tag team. I mean, she's been a tag team with Nia Jax, with Ronda Rousey, and now Zoey Starks. Really? Is that the best you got for her? I mean, she defeated Ronda Rousey and sent Ronda Rousey packing, and you can't do anything else for her besides put her in a tag team. Why not try to put her like her old NXT character, the Queen of Spades, where she had Jasmine, Marina Shafir, and Jessica Manduke as backup? Do something like that instead of putting her in another tag team. Seriously. And then this match didn't even go anywhere because Nia Jax attacked everybody in this match. Shayna Baszler, Piper Niven, Chelsea Green, and Zoey Starks. So, what Nia Jax is doing is what Shayna Baszler should be doing. She should be destroying the women. She should be running through the women's division. Instead, it's Nia Jax. So, is this going to lead to Nia Jax versus Rhea Ripley? Maybe. So we get a Chad Gable segment, and where he's basically trying to preach to Adam Pearce that he wants another opportunity against Gunther, but Adam Pearce tells him he's got to earn his way back into the title scene. So this leads into Chad Gable versus Bronson Reed because Bronson Reed interrupted him. And this was a good match. Actually, I liked it. Now, I know some people probably felt some type of way about Chad Gable losing, but I honestly feel like it fits perfectly because Chad Gable has to chase. Chad Gable versus Gunther 4 is not going to happen right away. I saw on Twitter where Chelsea was wearing one of the attires she matches when she wore with Dion and Impact. Yeah, long live Vex. Still wish they had a longer title reign as tag team champions. So they need a stall. And so Bronson Reed defeating Chad Gable could potentially lead to maybe Bronson Reed versus Gunter. I wouldn't mind seeing that. But like I said, they have to stall Chad Gable versus Gunter for when it happens, maybe a fast lane, maybe at Survivor Series. But it definitely will happen. You just gotta make Gable chase that title. So we get a Tommaso Ciampa promo, really good promo by Tommaso Ciampa, where he makes it known that he wants Gunter. Now they have history. Tommaso Ciampa has wrestled Gunter previously for the NXT UK title. You guys remember that at NXT? It was one of the NXT Stand and Deliver, I believe. We get a Becky Lynch promo, and she's basically talking about how she wants to elevate the NXT women's title to heights it's never seen before. You guys remember Becky Lynch went to NXT and she defeated Tiffany Stratton to win that title. Now, I know there's some people that did not like that decision. I did not see that match, unfortunately, because you guys know I don't watch NXT. Seen it, this show, okay. Yeah, Run came down with Shinsuke. This was a surprise. Those two segments, Adam Pearce came down to Seth Rollins. Yeah. So she basically says that she's gonna test herself against the future, tomorrow on NXT. And she has an open challenge, and Natty answers this open challenge. And she threw a shade at Becky, basically saying that she went to NXT and took opportunities from the women down there. I was like, damn, she went there. This has been Natty's best promo in who knows how long. Okay, so this is a short match, and obviously Becky was going to win. So maybe she's gonna do open challenges down on NXT, but Natty's another Raw wrestler, so obviously Becky was going to win this. Maybe this title match was Natty's reward for stepping up in the when the Superstar Spectacle that they did in India, because she had to do double duty. So maybe this was her reward. Okay. And we get a quick segment with Dominik Mysterio and Dragon Lee. He basically says that he doesn't like guys with masks because they remind him of his deadbeat dad. And we find out that Dominik is going to face Dragon Lee next week on Raw. That should be a good match. I'm really curious to see Dragon Lee. Maybe I guess I should watch NXT so I could see more of him. But who do you guys think is going to win? Dominik Mysterio or Dragon Lee? Now, if Rhea Ripley's still out by next week, then I honestly think Dragon Lee would win, unless Judgment Day is there. But even with Judgment Day, maybe it'd be possible for Dragon Lee to win. We get Tommaso Ciampa versus Giovanni Vinci. This was a good match. Ciampa getting his old theme back, which I thought was good. Now, Gunter was watching this backstage. And Tommaso Ciampa won by submission, so I don't think he's going to be too happy with that fact. I really don't think he's going to be happy with the fact that Giovanni Vinci lost by submission. And now we got an interesting dynamic here. You got Bronson Reed defeating Chad Gable. You got Tommaso Ciampa defeating Giovanni Vinci. Like, does this mean Tommaso is Gunter's next opponent? Is Bronson Reed Gunter's next opponent? Like, we got to wait and see where they go with all this. But honestly, I didn't think tonight's Raw was too terrible. Like, aside from Cody Rhodes versus Dominik, which I was not a huge fan of, was everything else. I can't really complain too much about tonight's show, except for a few things here and there, like why is Shayna Baszler in another tag team. But I really like what they're doing with Jey Uso. Really like the main event. Seems like they're setting up for Drew McIntyre to turn heel. Maybe feud with Cody Rhodes. That would make the most sense since Cody bought Jey Uso over to Raw. Now, I know a couple weeks ago they said that someone would get sent to SmackDown because Raw got Jey Uso, but they haven't touched upon that. So I guess we got to wait and see what they do with that, or if it's even brought up again. Thought for sure Cody Rhodes was going to be going to SmackDown because of that. But with that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching. Oh, I forgot to rate Raw. I think I'd give it, you know what? I'd give it an 8 out of 10. It wasn't a bad show. So that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching and for the continued support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or this video. And I'll see you guys Wednesday after Dynamite. Bye.